I will not tolerate such behaviour. If you want to go out now, but if you stand again, I'll lord you out. Make your mind up. Either shut up and get out.
I will not tolerate such behavior. If you want to go out now. But if you stand again, I'll lord you out. Make your mind up, and then shut up and get out. The Prime Minister just said something so shocking about King Charles that his own cabinet is plotting to remove him. And what happened next could end 300 years of British stability forever. Behind closed doors at Windsor Castle, King Charles did something no modern monarch has dared. He invited Nigel Farage and his Reform UK allies for a private 2-hour strategy session. Not a photo op. Not a ceremonial handshake. A genuine conversation about the future of Britain. What was officially discussed? Nobody knows. But one document changed everything, a Reform UK pamphlet titled Restoring Britain's Democratic Foundation. Page after page accused Parliament of wrecking the delicate balance that kept Britain steady for centuries. And then the King spoke just 12 words that would shatter his relationship with Westminster forever. Perhaps it's time for fresh thinking. The current path seems unsustainable. 12 words. That was all it took. If you want to see how this constitutional crisis ends, hit subscribe now, because what happens next will shock you. The meeting was meant to remain secret. Royal protocol demands it. The Crown never picks sides, never plays politics, never court scandal. Yet within 48 hours, every major British outlet had the story. The Times, BBC, The Guardian, even the Daily Mail. Someone leaked it. But who? Reform UK wanted privacy, not headlines. Palace aides would never betray the Crown. That points to one suspect. Downing Street. Labour insiders furious at perceived royal interference may have planted the story to embarrass the King. If that was the plan, it spectacularly backfired. Witnesses say when Prime Minister Keir Starmer heard the news, he became unrecognizable, pacing, shouting, slamming papers on the cabinet table. His deputy, Angela Rayner, later said he looked possessed. Then Starmer uttered the words that may end his career. Slamming his fist on the table, he roared, "If Charles wants to play politics, I'll show him how the game is really played. The monarchy serves Parliament, not the other way around. He's forgotten his place." Gasps filled the room. Ministers froze. Some later admitted it was the most shocking thing they'd ever heard from a British Prime Minister. But Starmer wasn't finished. 300 years of constitutional nonsense. Old men in fancy clothes playing dress-up. This is 2025, not 1725. If he wants a fight, he's got one. With those words, Starmer didn't just confront the King. He declared war on the monarchy itself. Every Prime Minister knows the unwritten rule. The Crown is untouchable, above politics, beyond attack, until now. And the moment Starmer crossed that line, Britain changed forever. Within hours, the story detonated across social media. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, every platform erupted. Hashtags like #DefendTheCrown and #Starmer the Republican shot to number 1 worldwide. Memes flooded the internet faster than Labour could issue denials. Starmer photoshopped as Oliver Cromwell, the man who executed a king. Starmer ripping up the Union Jack. Starmer in medieval stocks with the caption, "This is what happens when you forget tradition." It wasn't politics anymore. It was public execution by ridicule. But here's the twist. It wasn't just Conservatives attacking him. Lifelong Labour voters, the backbone of the party, were horrified. Margaret Thompson, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Liverpool, recorded a shaky TikTok that went viral. "We survived Thatcher. We survived Blair. But I can't survive a Labour leader who spits on the Crown." That clip hit 2.3 million views in just 24 hours. The polls confirmed the nightmare. A YouGov survey revealed 73% of Britons said Starmer went too far. Labour's approval rating collapsed from 42% to 28% in a single day. In Labour strongholds like Liverpool, Manchester, and Newcastle, support cratered by double digits. Nearly half of Labour's own supporters admitted they were reconsidering their loyalty. This wasn't bad optics, this was political suicide in real time. Inside Labour headquarters, panic turned to rebellion. MPs huddled in WhatsApp groups with names like Damage Control that quickly became coup headquarters. The question wasn't if they'd move against Starmer. It was when. Transport Secretary Louise Hay was the first to break. She walked out after what insiders described as a ferocious shouting match with the Prime Minister. Her resignation letter, leaked before it even reached Starmer's desk, was devastating. I cannot support a leader who shows open contempt for the constitutional monarchy and the millions of Britons who cherish it. Within hours, 2 more junior ministers followed. Each resignation was another dagger in Starmer's back. Chancellor Rachel Reeves, normally his fiercest defender, stayed silent. She refused television interviews, refused statements. Her silence spoke louder than words. She was preparing her own leadership bid. And Angela Rayner? She wasn't defending Starmer anymore. She was working the corridors of power, meeting MPs one-on-one, calming nerves, promising stability. Observers immediately understood. She wasn't his deputy anymore, she was his replacement. Veteran MP Diane Abbott didn't mince words. In 40 years in this party, I've never seen a leader self-destruct like this. The cabinet was fracturing. The party was in freefall. And Starmer, isolated in Downing Street, was running out of allies. Meanwhile, Nigel Farage was playing his hand like a master tactician. While Starmer raged and Labour MPs plotted, Farage stood before Union Jacks and spoke softly, with the confidence of a man who knew history had just handed him his greatest opportunity. While others attack our king, he declared, we defend him. While others forget Britain's traditions, we remember. No mockery, no shouting, just calm, unwavering patriotism. The optics were flawless. Reform UK suddenly looked like the guardians of British identity, while Labour looked like a wrecking ball smashing through centuries of tradition. The results were immediate and staggering. Reform UK's membership surged 400% in just 3 days. Small donors flooded the party with cash. Disillusioned Labour voters switched sides overnight. For the first time in British history, Nigel Farage wasn't just a protest figure or a political outsider. He was a legitimate contender for power. The polls told the story. Conservatives steady at 32%, Labour collapsing to 26%, and Reform UK surging to 24%. A three-way race, a fractured nation, and a political earthquake nobody saw coming. And through it all, King Charles said nothing. Not a statement, not a speech, not even a whisper. But that silence became the most powerful weapon of all. Every hour Charles stayed quiet. The fury against Starmer grew louder. Every day he remained calm and dignified. Starmer looked more reckless, more unstable, more unfit to lead. Constitutional experts called it genius. The monarchy survives by staying above politics, said Professor Sarah Matthews of Oxford. By saying nothing, Charles let Starmer destroy himself. Every hour he refuses to respond, the crown looks dignified, and the Prime Minister looks desperate. Palace insiders whispered that Charles was wounded, even betrayed. That the office he had dedicated his life to serve had been dragged into such poisonous theater. But outwardly, he gave nothing away. No anger, no sorrow, no emotion, just quiet strength. And that quietness made Starmer's tirade look exactly like what it was, an attack on tradition itself. The international reaction only made things worse. In Canada, Justin Trudeau praised the constitutional monarchy as essential to democracy, a subtle but unmistakable rebuke. In Australia, opposition leader Peter Dutton called Starmer's comments disgraceful, warning that Britain's credibility was now in question. Even American news anchors replayed Starmer's outburst on loop, shaking their heads at what they called a spectacular meltdown. Britain, once the model of political stability, had become the punchline of global politics. Now, Britain stands at a crossroads. Outside Parliament, protesters flood the streets. Some demand Starmer resign. Others call for abolishing the monarchy entirely. The nation isn't just divided, it's fracturing. Rumors swirl of an emergency royal summit. Some claim abdication was discussed. Others insist Charles is preparing to use ancient powers rarely invoked in modern times. Could the king really strike back with such force? Or would that only prove Starmer's point, That the monarchy clings to power it no longer deserves? Inside Westminster, rebellion has reached critical mass. WhatsApp groups that began as damage control have turned into full-blown coup headquarters. Names of potential successors bounce around like trading cards: Angela Rayner, Rachel Reeves, Yvette Cooper. Starmer's grip on power isn't just slipping, it's gone. And still, one haunting question echoes louder than the rest. When a prime minister declares war on his king, who survives? So here's what I want to know. Does Starmer survive this? Or is his career already finished? Does Charles strike back? Or does silence win the war? And could Nigel Farage actually become Prime Minister of Britain? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you want to see how this constitutional crisis ends, hit that subscribe button, because this story is far from over. The next chapter could change Britain forever.